Classic rock album reviews coming right at you.
Schmack-a-ma-god, my friends, it is I, and a couple days ago I was doing a track by track, and you know, in the middle of track by tracks I always pick a random album, and I picked this one, and I said, yeah, you know what, I like this album, and I got several comments of people saying, you should do an episode about Chinese democracy. So I listened to them, and I'm going to do it. And there's not a lot of people I listen to. I know I get a lot of comments of people saying, you should do this, you should do that, and I'm like, no, you should do it. But this one I listen to them. Now and then I'll listen to people. You know I love you all. So, Axl is the only guy left, you know, Slash, Duff, Izzy, who else was in the band? Steven Adler, you know. Guns N' Roses, I love that first Appetite for Destruction album, I do. And I'll give you a little history. I know I've said this before in other videos, but those that haven't seen it. The way I discovered Guns N' Roses is very unique. Was in October of 1985, I was in California, and me and my friend Henry went to the Troubadour, and we went to the door and said, hey, who's playing tonight? And they said, Guns N' Roses. And we're like, wow, that's a weird name for a band. I told Henry, you want to go see it? Yeah, let's go. So we ended up going back, and we saw the show, and I found out much later, no shit, like a couple of years ago, that night was the first night they ever played Paradise City. So I saw history, even though I don't remember it. I don't remember what songs they played that night except for Mama Kin. That was the only song I recognized. Because it was a cover, an Aerosmith cover. A couple years later, my friend Ronnie Spruce had a cassette of Appetite for Destruction. Mind you, when I saw him in '85, they didn't have no record out yet. I don't know if Live Like a Suicide was out yet, but I know Appetite wasn't out yet. And I was like, holy shit, I saw Guns N' Roses at the Troubadour a few years ago. Let's listen to it. And he put it on, and I really, really love that album. I'm not a fan of Anything Goes or Think About You. And, you know, and most of that album I'm really, really, like, burnt out on, like Sweet Child of Mine and Welcome to the Jungle and stuff like that. But, you know, I have a few of those songs in my iPod, and when the shuffle goes on Mr. Brownstone, man, that shit is ageless. That does not at all have a burnout factor with me. Neither does, like, Night Train, My Michelle, You're Crazy. A few songs that, you know, I'm not burnt out on. But anyway, so then they became huge, because when Ronnie brought that cassette, that album didn't take off till like a year later. Then they became humongous. I saw them with Motley Crue on the Appetite tour at the Hollywood Sportatorium, Girls, Girls, Girls tour. Then the next time I saw Guns N' Roses was the Joe Robbie Stadium on New Year's Eve on the Use Your Illusion. Now, Use Your Illusion, that double album's very bloated. You know, it has, like, for me, like a good album's worth of material, maybe even less than a good album's worth of material. But it lost a lot without Steven Adler. Now, mind you, it's still in the vein of Appetite for Destruction, minus like the epic ballad like November Rain and Estranged and stuff like that. But it still was in the same vein, unlike this. This is nothing like Appetite. And, but I found it bloated. Wasn't a big fan of Use Your Illusion, but I liked a handful of songs. Coma being one of them. And then I saw them with Metallica in Orlando on the Metallica Guns N' Roses tour. And did I see them anymore with Slash and them? That's it, until they reunited. Then the next time I saw them was with Buckethead. And this album wasn't out yet, but they played a lot of it. And I love Buckethead. And the weird thing about this, I know inside here there's, does it have who played on what? Yeah, it does, but the text is small and I'm not going to waste my time. Because my reviews are different than other people's reviews. A lot of people are going to throw in minutia, and I'll do a little bit, but my reviews is how I feel about the music. That's it. You know? I just do videos the way I feel like doing them. And anything else to say about Guns N' Roses? I think that's it. This album took 14 years. It's very maligned. A lot of people hate this. A lot of people hate Axl Rose. And I find him fascinating, to tell you the truth. He's kind of like, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks. The only thing I can kind of say, him being late to shows is bullshit. That I will agree. There's a lot of people that, have to go to work early in the morning. A lot of people depend on, the transit, subways or whatever that stop running at a certain time. So they end up getting ditched, or they end up leaving the concert early not to miss the trains and stuff. So yeah, I can't defend that. But, ever since Axl Rose did that tour with AC/DC, as far as I know, he's always been on time. I know AC/DC was on time. I know when I saw Guns N' Roses after that with the reunion with Slash and stuff at the Hard Rock Stadium, he was on time. And, but anyway, enough of that. I know a lot of you hate Axl, but, who gives a fuck what you think? Who gives a fuck what I think? Well, maybe some of you do that are watching me now saying, I wonder what Dr. Fuck thinks of Chinese democracy. And then there's people that don't care and ain't even watching. So they ain't even watching, so let's talk about them. They suck. That's right. They get their hand, right? They cup their ass, they fart, and then they sniff their hands. True story. People that are not watching this do that. They really do. I'm serious. And they're also into bestiality. But anyway, let's get into this album. Alright. Now, I love this album. I defend this album, but not every song. I think it dips halfway in. A couple songs, and then it comes back up. So it starts with Chinese Democracy, and this is the album cover, which is kind of lame. And let's see the inside. The inside, does it have lyrics? Yes, it does. And, and it is an appropriate name for the album, Chinese Democracy. It's kind of like, the running joke was, China's going to have democracy by the time this comes out. Dr. Pepper said if this album comes out in that year, they were going to give everybody in America a free can of Dr. Pepper. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think it did come out that year, and Dr. Pepper did not deliver. I know I didn't get my free can, but maybe I snoozed and lose and didn't know that they gave away free can. But who cares? It came out. So I bought the vinyl. I said, fuck it, I'm going to buy the vinyl. But I did buy this many moons later. I didn't buy this when it was new. I saw it for cheap at a record store. Even though this was a Best Buy exclusive, I didn't buy it in Best Buy. But I bought it, I don't remember how much I paid, but I know for a double album it was a steal. I think like maybe 15 bucks. Or I know it was less than 20. And I said, fuck it, I bought it. So by this time, it's the Axl Rose band. Nobody left in the band but Axl. Axl's the only original member. And a lot of people have a problem with that. It should be called the Axl Rose. Yeah, sure, but you know what? For business reasons, you got to call it Guns N' Roses, And so we start with the first track, Chinese Democracy, which is a little build-up thing, and then Axl comes in screaming. It's decent. It's not one of my favorites off the album, but it's definitely not a bad song. And by the way, this is my opinion. And but I dig it. It's okay. The next song, Shackler's Revenge. That one has more of an electronic feel to it. I know Axl was very much into 9 Inch Nails and stuff like that. And Buckethead's solo on that song is lethal. I love Buckethead. I've seen Buckethead so many times solo. He's just amazing. And a lot of people are like, he's no Slash. Buckethead's all shredding, where Slash is just, he's a really good emotional player. Buckethead is both, Shredder, but he's got emotions, man. Listen to Sue Sailor. Is that the name of it? Solo track? The guy's got feeling, man. He's wacky as fuck. As I understand, when he was recording this album, he needed chicken coops in the studio. And I don't know if it was during this, but I also heard that he liked fresh dog shit in the studio while he recorded. I mean, damn, that's some wacky shit. You know? I can't, man, it make me want to puke if I fucking smelled, you know, dog shit. But you know, the people that aren't watching now, they like to grab it. Dog shit, fresh dog shit. And true story. They're not watching. But it's true. They really are that way. Alright, Shackler's Revenge. Yeah, it's good. It's alright. To me, Buckethead is the best part of that song. Better. Now, this one I really like. This I like more than the first two songs. Now, this was the first single, but see, what really sank this album, because this album ended up being a disappointment. I think it went platinum, maybe double platinum, I don't know. But all I know is when this came out, Axl did no press for it. They didn't release no video. That Better video came out way after the fact. And, you know, but it's a good song. I love, you know, Axl's vocal, especially toward the end where he's screaming his ass off. Now, Axl Rose's voice, a lot of people are annoyed by it. I am too at times. There's some songs that I'm like, God, man, sounds like, you know, cats getting raped by people that aren't watching this, because people that aren't watching this video like to rape cats. True story. So, but Better's a great song. It's an awesome song. The next song is Street of Dreams, which was originally called The Blues. Now, I did venture on YouTube before I did this and wanted to see other people's opinions on this album, all these other reviews, and man, I didn't find one person. I didn't watch all the reviews, but I watched like 3 or 4. All of them hated Street of Dreams. Oh, it's like, you know, November Rain Light. I love Street of Dreams. Not as much as the Rainbow song called Street of Dreams, but it is a great, beautiful piano ballad. I love it. I think it's beautiful, and I dig it. So, screw you if you disagree. Now, the next one, in the world, If the World. Again, I didn't see nobody like that one. I mean, there was one guy that said, it's alright, it's not bad, whatever. It's my favorite track off this album. I mean, that song is so layered with so much shit. Flamenco guitar, 70s funk, kind of like a hip-hop beat. I mean, it's layered with a bunch of shit. Piano, but I love that song, man. So much that I say it's the best song on here. I mean, or pretty much tied, because there's another one coming up that's so good. But I love If the World. That's, to me, my favorite track off here. I just love it. And I did get to see Axl play it one time, because I did see him with Buckethead. They played it that night, but then I saw the Chinese Democracy, I think like 2 more times with Bumblefoot. Which, by the way, Bumblefoot and Buckethead both play on this album. But it's a little confusion who plays on what. You know, I am sure that Buckethead didn't play on 2 songs on here. And if I remember, I'll talk about what songs they are. But If the World. I just love that 70s funk when it gets into it and you hear that string section. It reminds me of 70s funk. Love it. Alright, what's next? There Was a Time. What's the acronym for There Was a Time? Alright, that one's good too. I like that one as well. I like the way Axl delivers that song. You know, just in the lyrics, you know, it's cool shit. I dig it, man. I think it's a really cool tune. Catcher in the Rye. Alright, that one I would put probably like, you know, like the first 2. I like it, but I don't love it as much as Better, Street of Dreams, and If the World, and There Was a Time. But Catcher in the Rye is not bad. It's not a bad song. I dig it. I understand it's not about the book, Catcher in the Rye, which one of the reviewers said it's not about that, you know. But it's an okay song. Not turned off, whatever. Then the next 2 songs is where it goes. This is where Axl Rose's voice annoys the piss out of me. Like everybody out there that everything Axl sings, they get annoyed by it. These 2 songs do it. Scrapped. Even the way Scrapped starts. It's like, what the fuck? You know, it's just... And the song is like, just... and now I can't remember if it was Scrapped or the next one, which I don't know how to pronounce. It's Raid and the Bedouins. I believe that's about terrorism, that song. One of those two songs has a really cool, decent guitar solo that doesn't save, but it is a cool solo. I believe it's Buckethead, or maybe Bumblefoot. They're both amazing. Bumblefoot's another really amazing player. Shredder and Emotion. But those two songs, they should have been scrapped on here. You know, that's the thing. I mean, this thing clocks over 70 minutes. Man, I love short albums. Man, to me, man, if it's over 40 minutes, it's too long. I like short-ass albums. There's a lot of people that complain about short albums. Oh, it's only 30 minutes long, this and that. I was like, yeah, man, trim the fat. Old Van Halen. They're all like 30 minutes. Trim the fat, and they're all classic. So, to both those songs. Then the next one makes up for it. Picks it back up. Song called Sorry. Sorry, it's like, but you know, there is a complaint. I mean, the lyrics are so cool when he says, truth is the truth hurts. Don't you agree? No, it's harder to live with the truth about you than to live with the lies about me, or so, I forgot. But it's such a badass line. So awesome. But the only complaint I have about Sorry, he also throws in a line where, I kicked your ass like I said that I would. It's like, what the fuck? I mean, that's stupid. To throw that in such a genius song, you know? Well, that's how I feel about Sorry. I love Sorry. Now, IRS is kind of weird. IRS is like a love song, but what the fuck? Why the fuck is it called IRS? You know, it's a love song, and then you're going to throw in the government? Wow, how romantic. But it's a good song. I dig it. I bet, you know, I would put it in the same, you know, realm as Catcher in the Rye in the first two songs. It's good. It's not great. It's all right. Madagascar. That's the one where when he came out of hiding and he was on the MTV Awards, they played that song. And it's okay. I mean, you know, I like the little breakdown section where you hear, like, Strother Martin, like, what we have here is failure to communicate, Martin Luther King. I like that little thing. And, you know, as far as the song as a whole, you know, again, I would put it like IRS, Shackled Revenge, Chinese Democracy. It's okay. It's all right. But I know a lot of people do like that one a lot, which I saw in those reviews. Now, the next one is called This I Love. This is the only song on the album that Axl wrote alone. Everyone else, he has co-writing credits. Now I'm going to get a little personal with this song. I had a girlfriend. She was amazing. Amazing. And I started dating her around 2010. And the lyrics of This I Love, it magnified the relationship I had with her, because it was a really beautiful relationship that went to shit later. I mean, complete shit. I mean, she really fucked it up. But I hold no grudges. I hold no grudges on any ex-girlfriend, even the one that threw a beer bottle at my head. I wish them all well. I'm not bitter, you know? Whatever, you know? I know a lot of you hate your exes, and that's you, and that's cool. Me, I wish them all well. Just as long as they don't come near me. But I wish them well. And she was amazing. And that song really does remind me of her, of the good times I had with her. Love that song. I just think it's great. Then it ends with a song called Prostitute. Really good. It's a different, again, like a lot of songs on this album, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of layers, and I know that bothers a lot of people. And, you know, he was very much second guessing. And by the way, This I Love and what was the other one? Catcher in the Rye are the two songs Buckethead did not appear on. See, I remembered after the fact. But Prostitute, yeah, I mean, it's a great song, but it doesn't have that, you know, great epic ending to the album. It doesn't, you know, it's not really climactic. I don't think any song on this album could have been a big climax for the album, but it's a good song. It's different. A lot of people don't like Chinese Democracy because it really doesn't sound like Guns N' Roses. Other than Axl's voice, musically, nothing like it. But I dig it, man. I dig it, and I have it in my iPod Shuffle, but I took out those two songs. So when it does get a song, one of those songs comes on, I never skip it. I listen to it. I enjoy it. It took a long time for this to happen, and I know you can hear it in the music. There's a lot of second guessing, I can tell. There's a lot of, oh, let's add this in, let's not add this in. A lot of producers. Who produced this album? Came and went. Like at one time it was Roy Thomas Baker and Moby and the Clink, who did the previous Guns N' Roses albums. But who produced this album? Produced by Axl Rose and, man, these texts are small. Produced by Axl Rose and some dude with his first and last name start with C. So there you go. Hey, the people that wanted me to do it, I hope you enjoyed my little review. My type of review. I'm not going to sit here and, talk about, oh, this one was in F sharp and the drums on this one were doing the paradiddles. Whatever the fuck. Anyway, that's it, my friends. That's my review. My musical, warped, Dr. Fuckalicious review of Chinese Democracy. Yeah. And a lot of people are asking, where's the Thrash or Die album? I'm taking the Axl Rose route, and I'm going to call that one Cuba Democracy. So, thank you all for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And hey, if you'd like to donate, I got a PayPal in the description below. I also got something else below for you. Females. Thank you for watching. Stay frosty. Listen to Black Sabbath. And schmack 'em a gob.